What is going on at LAX? You have to watch this.
SoCal Delta 958 Heavy out of 1,400, climbing 5,000.
All right, the first player here is Delta 958 Heavy. They're climbing out of LAX and they're on the north side of the runway. I'll explain what that means to you in a minute. There's another airplane, SkyWest, and it's 231 Echo taking off the south parallel runways at LAX. All right. And again, that you got to pay attention at LAX because you got parallel runways to the north and the south. 4 altogether. They're taking off simultaneously on the DOTS 2 departure. I'll show you the DOTS 2 here in just a second, but everybody's got to stay on their departure. Here we go.
Delta 958 Heavy, SoCal departure radar contact, climb maintain 12000.
Okay, so he hands them off to SoCal, climb 12000.
12000, sorry, heading, was that 090?
Oh, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this mystery. Was that a heading of 090? He didn't say that. The controller didn't say that. And I don't know where he heard that, but at some point he got that. Now, what's going on right now? All right. The Delta flight, Delta 958, is not flying their departure. They're not staying right on the center line. They're drifting to the left. And as they're drifting to the south, they're about to impede on the aircraft, SkyWest, that just took off on the south side of the runway. The airport. They're now flying straight out on their departure. Now, the difference between the two departures is this. The north departures off of LAX go out a little bit further before they turn around and come back to the east. When you get over the shoreline on the south, that's when you begin your turn, but it's all prescribed for you. The south departures turn at a place called Docker, and that's basically about a quarter of a mile off the shoreline. And then they go to another point called Peavy, and then they eventually turn the corner and go to a place called Thermal. Everybody ends up at Thermal as they're headed back east. And both of these aircraft are going to head back east. The north departures, they go out to a point called Fabra and then Any, and then they start their turn to a place called Nank, and then around to PV, and then to Thermal, and off they go. So it's a wider turn from the north, and it's a shorter turn from the south. If you start to cut the corner, and you're not authorized to do so on the north, you're going to run into all the traffic off the south. Delta 958 is oozing over. They're not flying the center line of their departure.
Delta 958 Heavy, negative, just climb and maintain 12000.
Delta 958 Heavy, traffic alert off your left, same altitude, turn right turn, heading 250 immediately.
We'll be right back, but first a quick word from our sponsor. You know, over the years, I've had a lot of people tell me that I should be taking green powders, superfood drinks, and all of those healthy supplements. The problem is, I hate them. Every time I'd try one, it felt like I was drinking a lawn clipping smoothie. I'd buy a big tub, I'd use it for about a week, and then it would end up sitting in the cabinet until I finally threw it away. Best day of my week. Honestly, I had pretty much given up on the whole idea. Then I found Groons, and this is the first one I've actually stuck with. Instead of mixing powders or swallowing a handful of pills, Groons packs everything into this little snack packs. And it's not just a multivitamin, not just a greens gummy, and not just a prebiotic. It's all of those things and more in one convenient daily pack. And the biggest surprise, they actually taste good. Seriously good. That's the part that changed everything for me. If something tastes like a chore, I'm probably not going to keep doing it, but Groons feels more like a treat than a supplement. What also stood out to me is how comprehensive they are. They contain 20 plus vitamins and minerals along with more than 60 ingredients, including nutrient-dense whole foods. They're also formulated with methylated vitamins like B12 and folate, which means your body can absorb them more effectively. And since Groons contain significantly more dietary fiber than many traditional greens powders, gut health was also another big reason I wanted to give them a try. As someone who spent a lifetime traveling, convenience matters. I can throw a pack in my bag, take it anywhere, and I'm done. If you've tried powders, the drinks, the giant vitamin bottles, and just couldn't stick with them, Groons might be worth a look. Click the link in the description below to get up to 52% off Groons, and thanks to Groons for sponsoring today's video. Sponsors like this help us to make more content for you. These are good.
Right 250 on the heading Delta 958 heavy.
Okay, so they almost immediately get this traffic alert because it's very tight at LAX, and you get just a little bit off on the north. And again, this is okay. Here's how it works. When you get your departure and which one you're going to fly, in this case, it's called the DOTS 2. And let's take a look at the DOTS 2 here. All right, the DOTS 2 departure, it looks like this. Off the north, you go to Faber, Eni, Nank, and down to Hayek, and then to PV, and out you go. Off the south runways, either one of them, you end up at a place called Schaff, and then PV, and then back out, and off you go to the east. And it's a tighter turn to the south than it is to the north. You cannot deviate at all from these departures unless, of course, you're cleared by air traffic control to do so. If you do, you'll impede on the departure that's going off on the other runway. Here's how it works. You get this DOTS 2 departure before you ever push back off the gate. So when the pilots are doing their pre-flight on the ground, one of the things that the first officer will do is he'll bring up the pre-departure clearance. That's what it's called. And when he brings up the pre-departure clearance, he'll either get that over the radio or it'll come out through the box on the printer. I like it on the box on the printer because I can see it, but otherwise I have to write it down if I get it on the radio. Then both pilots have separate computer screens, flight management computers that they look at. It gets entered into the computer, and then both of them verify and cross-check what the other person has put in. Then, on top of that, they brief every point of the departure out loud. So the captain will say, all right, let's brief the departure, and I'll bring it up on my iPad. I'll look at it in the computer. The FO will have it on his iPad, and he'll look at it in his computer. Then we quadruple check every single point, and anything that's written in comments down below about air speeds or when you can turn. But basically at LAX, you're going to fly every point and you're going to stay on every point until you turn on a point to come back, unless air traffic control tells you to do something different. They did not. I don't know where 090 came from. I heard 12000. I think 090 was probably an attempt because they were drifting to say, can we keep turning left? But no, that's not the way it works. And so, all right, let's go back and watch now exactly what is taking place.
Gus 231 Echo, traffic alert off your right, less than a mile, same altitude, turn southbound immediately, heading 180.
180 on the heading, Scott 231 Echo.
All right, so now he's told the SkyWest airplane to turn. He's gotten Delta to turn back on course, and now they're going to begin to diverge. But they got pretty close to each other. It doesn't say exactly how close they got. It just says that they got close enough for the air traffic controller to say the word immediately, and that's pretty close.
Delta 958 Heavy, heading 250 2000.
250 2000 Delta 958 heavy.
Gus 231 Echo, clear direct TV, maintain 5000.
Direct TV, maintain 5000, SkyWest 231 Echo.
Okay, so whenever they cut the corner, they're always going to send you to PV. And PV is like the main point that the north and the south go to. But he's taking the guy that's on the tighter turn to the south, SkyWest, out to PV, and then he's going to hand him off, and off he's going to go back to the east. Meanwhile, Delta, he's got on a 250 heading up to 12,000 feet to get him well away from everybody else. And if I'm in the tower, I'm scratching my head right now going, what are you guys doing? Right? You've got a departure. You brief that departure. You quadruple check the departure. And then when you took off, what did you do? Did you hand fly it? I mean, you can. You're allowed to hand fly these. I just don't think it's a great idea. Now you used to go, okay, well, I want the pilots to have skills. All right, if you're going to hand fly it, then stay on the departure. Don't drift to the left, because that's the reason you want to basically at about 400 feet engage your autopilot. When you're at a tight airport like this, I do the same thing in London. There's times where you can hone your skills in the airplane. Departing out of London is just not one of those times. You want to stay right on the departure, because if you don't, I mean, if you're off by 1 or 2 degrees, they will holler at you. You'll get a phone number. You'll put somebody else in danger. Same thing here at LAX. This is a big boy, big girl airport. Okay. And so I'm saying 400 feet, turn that autopilot on, fly the thing, and stay right on your points as you're going out. I think they were hand flying, and that's why they drifted off to the left. And then, 090 came up, right? Here we go. Now they're in good shape now.
231 Echo, say altitude.
Currently 4,100, climbing 5,000, SkyWest 231 Echo.
Okay, why does he ask him the question, say altitude? Because he dropped off the screen for a second. Air traffic control is looking at him, and all of a sudden he stops reporting, and they're not sure what altitude he's at. So they call him up, and they say, verify your altitude. He does, and probably about that exact same time, he pops back up on their screen. It's just the electronic world that we live in. It was a glitch, and then he's going to verify, okay, yeah, now I got you.
SkyWest 231 Echo, radar contact, climb maintain 6,000.
6,000, SkyWest 231 Echo.
All right. So those guys are turning.
Heavy. Where did you get the 090 heading from?
Where did you get the 090 heading from? Inquiring minds in the tower want to know. Where did you get that from? Let's hear what the excuse is about 090.
We weren't turning to 090. We were a little bit left of course, and then we got the altitude to 12,000, and I thought there was a 090 heading. We were just a little bit left of course at that point, and then we got the heading from you.
Okay, he said, all right, wait. I like this. He is being transparent. We didn't get a 090 heading. I asked you about that. I don't know where I got that. Okay, that's fine. That's fair, right? But then there's it's like when you're talking to your kids and they go, but Mom, it was just a little itty bitty, we were just a little bit left of course, right? You can't be any left of course at LAX. You can't be at London. You can't be in New York. You can't be left of course, right? So, but he's minimizing the issue, hoping to maybe sell that to the controller. We were just a little bit left, of course. It's tough. Between you and me, no big deal, right? But the problem is the alert went off, and that means he was so far left, of course, that there was an impending collision in the future, and that's something that you want to avoid. And then the controller had to intervene. So just a little bit, he says.
Okay. I'm confused. Why were you left of course? Were you just veering off to the left? I thought you were on the departure.
I'm confused. Why would you even be left of course at all? Right? There's no reason for you to be left of course. You should be on course. Okay? You guys quadruple check this. You briefed this. You're flying it. Why were you left of course? Just a little bit left of course is like a little bit pregnant. Okay? You're still pregnant and you're still left of course. So he comes back and he asks him, he's pushing. This is good. I like what this controller's doing.
Yeah, we were on the departure. We just veered left, of course.
We just veered left, of course.
Delta 958 Heavy, turn left heading 130.
Left 130, Delta 958 Heavy.
So the big question is...
231 Echo, climb maintain 2000, contact departure 134.35.
134.35, climb maintain 2000, and thank you very much for your help. Scout 231 Echo.
Okay, the big question is he going to get the call?
Delta 958 Heavy, turn left direct Clipper.
Left turn direct Clipper, Delta 958 Heavy.
All right, now he's starting to turn them to
Delta
the left.
958 Heavy, expect higher shortly.
Delta 958 Heavy.
Are they going to get the call? Is he going to do it? Let's see.
Delta 958 Heavy, possible pilot deviation, advise you contact SoCal approach on 858 537.
Okay, they got it.
858 537.
Now listen to what comes next.
Delta 958 Heavy, contact LA Center 125.27. Good day.
2527, good day, Delta 958 Heavy.
Okay. He says good day at the end, and Delta responds with good day. No, this is not a good day. It's a bad day. Yeah, this is a once in a career thing when you get to call this phone number. Now, a lot of you have asked in the comments what actually happens when number one, I got a question was, what happens if you don't make the call? I would say lawyers are going to get involved if you don't make the call. Make the call, all right? It's not that big a deal. If you make the call, you're going to discuss it. They're going to hash it out. If it wasn't the end of the world and there wasn't an imminent collision, it's probably going to just end right there. Everybody's going to get straight what happened. We want to be transparent in aviation. We want to learn from our mistakes. We want to make sure that they don't happen again. We also want to disseminate that information to other pilots as well, so they can learn from our mistakes. So sometimes that's all the phone call is. Sometimes the phone call is, hey, this was real serious, and you guys were so egregious that we're gonna run this one up the ladder. Okay, fair enough. You can do that. Now, I can guarantee you, I don't know where these guys are going, but for the rest of their flight, that's what's on their mind. They're pretty distracted at this point because they've got to make that phone call when they land at the other end, and they're not sure how that's going to go. So it's got to be a big deal for an air traffic controller to have a pilot while in flight write down a phone number expecting to call when they get at the other end. So this is as serious as it gets. Usually it gets handled between the two parties after they land. But if it's really bad, it's going to go up to the FAA, and they're going to get involved, and companies will get involved in everything else. But the bottom line here is everybody wants to learn from these mistakes. But I can tell you this to my pilots and my captains and my FOs out there: if you're at a place like LAX where you got quadruple parallel runways, fly the departure and use the autopilot. It's no crime, no foul to do that. It's going to keep you out of trouble, and it's going to keep you away from getting that call that says write down a number for possible pilot deviation. Well, now you know. I'm Captain Steeeve. Fly safe. All right, this was a pretty close call at LAX when one aircraft diverged into the path of another. If you'd like to see another video or two where the almost identical thing happened, check out one of these two videos.